Hi everyone. I hope you enjoyed your snow day off yesterday, or on Monday, I should say. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to do the lesson that I wanted to teach you for social studies. And you really needed to have that lesson in order to take part in what I wanted you to do with the substitute teacher on Tuesday and on Wednesday. So, as a result, I'll be creative and I will just make a screencast. And I made my cursor super big so that you can follow me easily. So, there's a few things that I want to show you about Noodle Tools before you're able to dig into research over these next couple of days. Now, I know that you all went over the weekend and looked into the videos that I sent you, the various Noodle Tools videos, and I'm sure that you went and answered all the questions, so you're already somewhat familiar with it. But there's a few more things that I wanted to show you before you really get into your research. So, first things first, you will sign in. And remember that now that you've created your ID, you just sign in with your personal ID, which should be the beginning of your CPS email. However, I created a different one as a sample to show you. And then your password is capital C, lowercase ps, and then your ID number. Now, once you're in, you should already have your sample history fair project up. Yours doesn't say sample though, yours says probably your name. So I want to say one quick word for those of you that are working with a partner. If you haven't already done this, now's a good time. Well, not right this second, but after I'm done with the screencast, it'll be a good time to switch over because you don't really want to get too much further in under separate projects. You want to be working on the same project. So, in order to do that, you can open the project, and only one of you is going to do this. So, if there's a person A and a person B, person A can do this, and person B, you won't need to do anything. You're actually going to delete the original project that you started. So, person A will come right here where it says Student Collaboration, and you'll click Add/Remove Students. Now, under collaborator, you're going to put whoever you're collaborating with, and you'll need to put the beginning of their email address. So you'll need to ask them what the beginning of their email address is, type it in, allow them to be full collaborator here. Peer reviewer is kind of just view only. Full collaborator means that person will also be able to edit, change, add to, etc. And then you can save it. Now, I don't have a collaborator here, so I'm just going to go back. Uh-oh. Come on now. I'm going to go back to my original screen. Now, also, everybody will be doing this. You're going to share the project with a teacher's Dropbox, that teacher being me. So the way you do that is you click on the share. Now, the assignment Dropbox, the name is just, I think I just named it History Fair 2015. As soon as you see it, as soon as you start typing it, it will come up. There it is. So you see Mr. Prince, 7th grade teacher, Miss Wheatholter. Obviously, you'll choose Miss Wheatholter. And then you can just type your name. Oh, I don't want to type my own name. That will be confusing since this is a sample one. I'll just put Joe Schmo. Okay. Share my Google Docs paper. You know, I don't really know if we're going to be using Google Docs paper as much, but just in case, we'll go ahead and click it. And then share project. Oh, goodness. I think what you'll do is sign in through your account. Clearly, I have a lot of accounts. You'll just sign in through your CPS account. Oh, goodness. I'm all out of sorts here. Okay. So after you click share, you should be able to share it directly with me. If you have any issues with that, when I'm back on Thursday, we can go over that in more detail. Okay, so for the next step, I want to show you how to go about it, taking your research and inserting it into note cards. So you'll want to open your project that should now, oh, and I should say this too. Let me go back one more time. Um, if you want to rename your project, for example, if it still says Person A's History Fair project, but now it's actually Person A and Person B's, just mark the box here. Actually, I don't even think you have to mark the box. Just go to Option and then Rename. And then you can rename it A and B's History Fair project. Rename. And then you can see it's changed the name, so it shows that you both have ownership. Okay, so you can go ahead and click open the project. Now you kind of have a couple different options here. I don't know that one way is necessarily better than the other. You could start by creating a note card or start by creating a bibliographic source. But before you can even do really either, you need to find a source that you think has good information that you'll want to use. So I had done a search earlier on Coretta Scott King, as if that was the person, we'll say, that I'm doing my history fair project on. And I found this great website. Oh. And you might go to this website too, biography.com, because it's a credible source and has covers a lot of people, probably most of the people that you've chosen. And it's nice, it gives a synopsis of their life, lots of great pictures that you could possibly use, and even some videos that you can possibly use. And it really breaks their life down. For example, you can see early life, how she was a civil rights activist, the death of her husband, her personal life and death. So it kind of breaks it into good categories. Because remember, we're kind of in the initial stages of research where we're just kind of getting to know who this person is and what they're about and what they did in their lives. So if I was just going to start, let's say, with her early life, I might start by making a note card. So in Noodle Tools, if I went to note cards, I want to create a new note card. You can see I have a blank slate right now. I haven't made any note cards. I want to make a new note card. So the title, I'm going to make the title just what the title of that section was, which is Early Life. Now, this is the section we recall where you put the exact text in, the direct quotation. So I'm just going to go back to my website and I'm just going to copy and paste that whole section. Remember, Control C to copy, Control V to paste. And I want to make the font size just a bit bigger so it's easier to read. Now, it's when all the text is over here, this is your opportunity to highlight, annotate in any way, make sense of the text. Because then once you get over here, you're going to paraphrase, put in your own words, and summarize the text. So I'm going to quickly do that right now as you watch. Coretta Scott King was born Coretta Scott on April 27th, 1927 in Marion, Alabama. In her life, Coretta was as well known for her singing and violin playing as her civil rights activism. She attended Lincoln High School, graduating as the school's valedictorian in 1945, and then enrolled at Antioch College in Yellow Springs, Ohio, where she received a Bachelor of Arts degree in music and education. After graduating from Antioch, Coretta was awarded a fellowship to the New England Conservatory of Music in Boston, Massachusetts, the city where she would meet her future husband, famed civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr. At the time, Martin Luther King Jr. was studying theology at Boston University. Okay, so as I go back, I might want to ask myself, what are the important parts that I want to remember and potentially want to include in my project? So, because my whole project is on Coretta Scott King, it might be good to include the fact that she was born, the date that she was born. And I can just go up here and highlight that text with whichever color I want. She was known for her singing and violin playing, as well as her civil rights activism, the high school she went to. I think it's kind of important that she was valedictorian. For those of you that don't know, valedictorian means you were the top ranking person in your high school. So that goes to show that even earlier in her life, she knew how important school was, and she really did well and strived to be her absolute best. So I think that that's important. And then she enrolled in Antioch College. She went to another music school. And I think it's important to mention the New England Conservatory of Music in Boston, because that's where she would meet her future husband, Martin Luther King Jr. So I'm going to highlight that part too. Coretta earned her second collegiate degree in voice and violin from the New England Conservatory of Music in the early 1950s. Not long after June 18, 1953, Coretta and Martin married and moved to Montgomery, Alabama, where he served as pastor of Dexter Avenue Baptist Church, and she subsequently oversaw the various tasks of a pastor's wife. So, it's interesting because I think obviously music was a big part of her life. The school she went to and where she got her second degree both mentioned that it was conservatory. Music was definitely her thing. So I might, let's see, voice and violin. I might mention that she had a degree in voice and violin because I want to show that music was integral to her life. Okay, so now that I've highlighted some things, and remember you can always annotate if you want to, now I'm going to come over here to paraphrasing and summary, and I'm just going to kind of put it in my own words. I'm not going to even write it in paragraph form. I'm just going to make a bullet point list. I'm going to start by saying, oh yeah, that is too tiny. Oops, not font. Family font size. Okay, let's see if that's better. Coretta, oh yeah, was born on April 27th, 1927. She took her education seriously. She was even the valedictorian of her graduating class. Notice that I'm not putting word for word what was over here in the story. Here's my chance where I'm just summarizing it, paraphrasing it, putting in my own words. Went to college, and I'm not even concerned right now with complete sentences either. At New England Conservatory. You know what? That's too much to write. So you know what? I might even just copy and paste that whole part, the name of that school, just to save myself some time. I don't know if the highlighting is going to come with it. Oh, sure is. That's okay. I can just unhighlight it easy enough. Okay. Went to college at the New England Conservatory of Music in Boston, where she met Martin Luther King Jr. Okay. Coretta was very musical. In fact, she earned her second degree in voice and violin. Okay, so now that I've paraphrased and summarized this, now this is the biggie, my ideas. This is where the analysis comes into play. This is where you ask questions. This is where you maybe jot some ideas down of future research. So I'm just going to make some bullet point lists again. I'm going to make the font bigger. What are some questions that I have? One question I have is, did Coretta know when she met and married Martin Luther King Jr. that she too would play a role in the civil rights movement? Did she know that when she first met him? I wonder if that's something she discovered like later, like years down the road. Um, did Coretta ever do anything in her life with her musical talents? Okay, so you get the idea. I could maybe list some more, really think about it some more, analyze some more, but I just kind of wanted to give you an idea of what a note card would look like. Not your average note card, right? This is a step beyond if you were just using an actual note card. Now, source, I don't have any yet, right? This is where I was saying earlier, you could have done your source first and then done this. Um, but we did it in opposite order, which is fine. I'll show you what to do in that case. I can put the URL, the website. Let me come back here. I'll just copy the website here and put it right in there in case I ever need to go back to it. Tags. Remember, tags are the thing when you start getting lots and lots and lots and lots of note cards and you're like, shoot, where's that one on her early life? I'm just going to put the tag in early life, and I can put in other tags too. I could put in college. I could put in when she was born. I could put in, because in this source we learned what her degree was in, so I could put in degree. So you basically just need to think for all those times when you're like, shoot, where did I see that research? Where was that note card on, the college that she went to? Then you have that keyword there so you can search the tags and find the card. We don't have any piles yet, so we can't choose a pile. So I think at this point we can just save it. We haven't associated it to a bibliography yet. That's okay. We'll do that in a second. And there is my very first note card. It's very exciting. So I can pick it up, drag it out to my board here. Okay, next step is to cite the source. Okay, so I think, I think the best way to do it now is to go up to bibliography. And I don't have any sources yet, so I'm going to create a citation. This was a website. Create citation. Continue. And it will bring up all the boxes you need to cite a website. So these are all the things that I would need to fill in, but on biography.com, it's pretty cool because if I look down here, and a lot of legit, solid sources will do this. If I look down at the bottom, it already has, oh, you need to cite this page? Are you doing APA style? Here's how you cite it. Are you doing Harvard style? Here's how you cite it. Are you doing MLA style, which is what we're doing? Here's how you cite it. So I don't need to go through and find all this information here. They already put it in the right format for MLA style. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that whole line, copy it, and then I'm going to go back. I'm going to say, forget all this. They already told me what to do. So I'm going to go to copy and paste a citation. Now once I do that, I can just manually put this in. Just paste it right in. And URL, if any, yeah, I'll include the URL, that can't hurt. Publication, copyright, date of source, that's already in here, so I don't need to put that in either. And remember the annotation, we're going to do that later down the road when we see how the source, if you use the source and how it fits into your project. I want to include it in my final works cited, so I just submit. Okay, there's my very first source. So that's pretty cool. Now, had I done that first, what I could do is then go to note cards and I could put new note card and then do everything that I just did on that note card and it would automatically be associated with this. But since I didn't do that, I think, fingers crossed, I'm kind of new to this too, as you know, but I think when I come back to my note cards, I think what I can do is click on the note card. Maybe if I just view details of the note card, I think that's probably what I'm going to need to do. View details. No? Okay. Just open you up. So now when I go to source, I can pick the source right there. And I've linked that note card to the source. And now I save it. And there you go. Now, if I end up going to another website and I find some more information about her early life that wasn't on the biography.com, then what I can do is I can make a new note card and then I can just drag it and add it to the early life pile. Likewise, if I made a separate note card about the death of Martin Luther King Jr. and the role that she played in that, then I could make a pile of, what happened with his death and, how it concerned her. And I could make a whole separate pile of that. So that's when it will come in handy being able to pile these note cards together. Don't concern yourself with the outline yet. We'll do that when we come back. But as you work today, you have a head start into things. Hopefully, over the day that you have, I'm hoping that you will be able to create at least 3 different note cards. Doesn't matter what, are they all early life? It doesn't matter. I just want you to have 3 different note cards. It could be from the same source. I could have one note card on the early life. I could have one on the death of Martin Luther King Jr. I could have one about how she's a civil rights activist. I could have 3 separate piles. That's fine. But like I said, by the time I come back on Thursday, your next social studies day, so whether that be Thursday or Friday, I want you to have minimum of 3 note cards made. So hopefully this was helpful. You have lots of time to work ahead of you. So research responsibly. Make sure you're using solid websites. No Wikipedia allowed. I know in your initial research when you were just trying to decide on who you want to do your project on, I said it was okay, but it is not considered a legitimate source. Anybody and everybody can get on and add on to Wikipedia if they wanted, whether it's true information or not. So we have to stick to good, solid sources. So good luck with your research, everybody. And if you have any questions, you can email me while I'm at my conference. I'll try to respond to you. Otherwise, I will address those questions when I get back. So thanks, everyone. Happy researching.